I'm from New York, and I was raised by a most exceptional mother. My mother was teaching women to go to work in the 50s. In the 50s when no women worked. If you ever saw Mad Men, did you ever see Mad Men? I was brought up to be that blonde. To be that blonde, you go to a good college, you marry a nice man, you move to the country, you have 2 children, and you slowly go mad. So what she did was she taught women to work in the 50s. She taught a course at NYU, New York University. Wear white gloves, which means dress appropriately, write a CV, and answer the ads, even though they said men wanted. And she taught the women to do this, not because they were alone, not because they were poor, but because they had a brain, and they should use it. And they should have their own independence, their own money, because they shouldn't be dependent on anyone else. Suggestion was, when I was young, I wanted to be an actress. And my mother said, we are not having any starving actresses in this family. If you want to act, you can act in front of the jury. Go be a lawyer. One of the things she always used to say is, when you get old, the world has to be a better place because you were in it. That will give you peace. And for me, what I'm trying to do is to help other women, to open the doors to them at the IOD, to give them advice, to give them role models, to tell them that it's possible to do it. Don't give up. Work as hard as you can. Always work as hard as you can. Because you never want to think that I might have got that job if I'd only tried for it, or I might have got that A if I'd only worked harder. 70% of a first impression is how you look. 20% is how you sound. And only 10% is what you say. I was young, I didn't know that. And I used to wear those short skirts that we wore in the 70s. And in fact, short skirts, long blonde hair, kind of like Farrah Fawcett Major. I almost got fired from my first job for looking like a tart. I put my long blonde hair up in the boring way you see it today. I took my short skirts and put them down in a normal length. And my collars up about as high as you can make them. And I became the person that I am today. And frankly, I've looked like this for a very long time. And it makes me feel secure and comfortable. It's like putting on my armor every day, because basically I'm a marshmallow. Now I say to young women, when you walk in the door, you want to take charge of how you look. You want to take charge of the impression you make. You may be creative, you don't have to be conservative like me, but make sure that it's you that's defining what people think of you in the first couple of seconds. I'm trying very hard not only to bring women into non-executive director roles, to make them executives, to make them grow up and want to be the chief executive of the company. That should be their goal. Not to be an advisor, not to be HR person, not to be strategy, but to be chief executive, to run a business, to make a profit, to make a real impact on the company. I want women to take maths. I want them to learn about business. I want them to feel like they are part of the thread of the corporate community. The Institute of Directors was started 112 years ago by a group of men in the City of London who were struggling with the new corporation laws. And they got together in order to inform the government about what they thought about those laws. They were very influential, they were very successful, and they were very elegant men, very aristocratic, but they were just men. But just in May of last year, 2015, they elected the first woman chairman, and I'm fortunate and honored to have been elected. There are many more women directors. I want them to feel comfortable. I want to change the physical surroundings. I'm trying to get pictures of women on the walls instead of men, which is what they have now, and to make them feel like they have a home.